Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The final version of Heroes of Middle-earth is now available to those in some areas. It will be released to everybody else on the 10th of May, but this is the final version of the game, and with it brings a brand new guide to start the game off. I will get you from level 1 all the way through to level 20 to unlock all the main features. Now this will be heavily edited, so you don't have to sit through all the tutorials and things like that. I'll just point out the main things as we go and the characters you should be unlocking and those to avoid at the start of the game, just so you can progress as fast as possible. Now there have been a few changes since the last guide, and that will change the strategy just a little bit, but we'll pick things up just after you've done the main tutorial. You'll have your 3 starting characters, and this is where we start. In our tavern, you'll see the 4 locked areas. This is basically how we're going to track our progression over those first 20 levels. Now the first one that we are going to want to progress towards is our guilds, which unlocks at level 10. And that shouldn't take too long to get to. We should get through that first part of the game fairly quickly. The arena will be the last one that you unlock at level 20, our adventures at level 14, and our supplies at level 18. Now we pick up the start of our game in our light campaign going into level 3 of the first chapter. The important thing here, do not skip the text. There was a bug that I'm not sure if it's been fixed or not that was in the trial period of the game, that if you did press skip, then it wouldn't unlock the auto battle feature. So once you go into this, anytime the text comes up, just hit next, let it play through, and then that will just make sure that you can access the auto battle once you get to level 4. After the 3rd battle though, they will introduce you to your quests. Make sure that you are looking at these quests and completing everything as you go. There's a lot of valuable gear and resources that you will collect, including a few very important characters that you can unlock just through doing these quests. Next, they will introduce you to the calendar, and as you can see, there are some pretty cool rewards just for logging in each day, including those all-important shards for the Great Goblin. Now they have upped this to get 45 shards on day 7, which actually will unlock him on that day. Now if you don't see the calendar when you log in, tap on your objectives. Right next to your name you'll see the calendar there. You can log in and you can claim your rewards just from there. Another thing that you can do from this point, if you tap on your character right in the top left corner, this will take you into your player profile. Tap that little feather next to your name if you've just got your standard ring bearer and number. You want to change that to something a little bit more unique, especially if you do intend on joining a guild, because most guilds don't want those default names because we just can't tell the players apart. And it does make you stand out as a player and not just a random account that's just been generated to claim rewards from the guild. Also, tapping on the picture there allows you to change that to a different icon that might suit you just a little bit better than the standard Strider one that everyone's probably going to have. Now what we're going to do is make sure that we upgrade whatever gear we've got available for the 3 starting characters. We just want to make sure that they're as strong as possible before we start going into our other battles here, because they do start to get a little bit tougher. But what you're going to find once you head into this one here, as you can see, you've got that auto mode there. Just hit that button. These 3 characters should be strong enough at this point to go all the way through to the end of the first chapter. And with a little bit of editing magic, we come to the 9th node here, where we're just in that last battle. We'll be able to get the 3 stars on all of them with just those 3 characters and the occasional mission character that they'll give you along the way. You'll also go up a few levels and collect a whole heap of gear and resources as you do these battles, so it's good just to go through them as quick as you possibly can just to get to that point, and then we're ready to take on our first hard node. Now this is the point where we really start to build our squad up a little bit, because as you'll see there, once you beat this battle the first time, you get 15 shards for Eothane, which will unlock him on the spot. Now he's a really good character to have at the start of the game. He's one of those characters that you will have to put a lot of gear into to really see the potential, but once you start putting together that Rohan team, he will be a very good character to have in there. Once you've got him unlocked, level him up as much as you possibly can, then we're ready for our next step. So once you head out of here back into the tavern, you'll see you've got a whole bunch of challenges that are ready to claim. Once you've actually claimed all of these, you're really going to be pushing for that level 10 mark, which is where we're trying to get to unlock our guild. Now that got us up to level 9, so we're very close, but you will be prompted with this bundle here for the hobbits. Now for $7.99, which is probably going to be around about $4.99 US, I would assume, but check your local prices. For that price, this is actually a very good pack to get, and it can actually help you out at the start, but if you don't want to spend any money, that's perfectly fine. We'll be getting onto these characters soon anyway, especially Pippin. He's not too far away, and he is also very important for that first team. From this point on, it doesn't take much grinding for gear to get you up to level 10. You're going to be so close, so you might as well just grind that little bit of extra gear, get to level 10, then you can unlock the guilds. Now once this is unlocked, this is very important even if you don't normally like to play in a team. Head into the guilds, and this is what you can do. At the top you can either join a guild, where it's probably better to join a public guild if you don't want to run one yourself. If you want to run one or play solo, head into create guild. You just need to type in your guild name, change it from public to request only, and that way no one else can join unless you let them in. Then you just need to pop in a name. You can add some tags for the type of guild that you want it to be, hit create, and then you've got your guild set up. Once you get your guild set up, you can go into your options, select your allies. You can go into here and change the character that you want your other guild members to be able to use when they do their guild missions. I would suggest to use someone that not everyone else is going to use, or that you would normally have in your team to start with, so that way it provides a lot more variety for the other guild members. You also get bonuses if your guild members use your character, so it's always good to use someone a little bit different to everybody else. Now we're ready to jump into our guild campaign. Now on the first mission here, once completed you will unlock Ugluk. Now he is going to be the start of your shadow team. He's probably not going to be one of those characters that you take late into the game, but for a starting character he's definitely going to be able to do the job. The first battle isn't very hard at all, so you should be able to get through it. Not a problem with just the 4 characters that you have. If you do have a guild ally to use, it's always good to have them just for that extra backup so that you're able to beat it just that little bit easier. From here we're going to level up all 5 characters, and we're going to get them all up to gear 3. If you don't have gear 3 available, you may need to jump up another level or so, but that won't be too hard if you're farming gear for everybody anyway. You're probably going to jump up another level or 2. Then what we're going to do is play the guild missions all the way through until we get to node 5, where you'll find Pippin. Along the way you will see one of the Dunlendings there. You don't need to farm him just yet because the shadow nodes aren't available at this time, so we're just going to make sure that we boost our light side by getting Pippin. If you do find that your characters aren't quite strong enough to 3-star that one, what you're going to do is then go back to your light side nodes and continue through the normal chapters. You will be able to get some extra gear and probably go up that extra level just to make sure that you're strong enough so that these guys can continue along that journey and 3-star that particular node. One thing that you will find helpful if you do finish off that second chapter for the light side, you will unlock Morher in the quests. Now he is one of the tag team partners for Ugluk, so those two guys are going to work really well together, and they are going to help you a lot with those campaigns moving forward. Because if you set Ugluk as the leader, it will actually give them a passive heal whenever one of the Urukai puts a debuff on one of their opponents. It does trigger a heal for the entire team. This is actually a really good way to keep that team alive until you're able to get Pippin up and running, so that he does have that heal to support the other guys on the team. So what we're going to do, once again, we're going to level him up, put as much gear as we can on him and the rest of the team, just to make sure that we are as strong as we can possibly be going into this battle here. From here, you're going to be able to clear this battle pretty easily, and once you do, we're only going to spend our guild energy on this node until we unlock Pippin. Do not continue past this point. It will be difficult anyway, but you will want to have Pippin going forward because he's really going to be that linchpin for the light side. Now once you have him unlocked, gear him up, level him up, put as much gear as you can on him. By the time you have actually gone to grind out all of the gear and everything for him, you should be very close, if not already at that level 14, and that will then unlock the adventures for you. The adventures tab is pretty straightforward. Once you get in there, you'll see a whole bunch of different challenges that unlock each day. This is also where you will get the Gardener's Journey once you hit level 25. That one will open up. But the challenges, you'll get a few different ones each day where you'll need a couple of different teams in order to complete them. Each level is locked behind getting 3 stars on the previous one, and also achieving a certain level to unlock the next tier, where the prizes keep getting bigger and bigger. If you do lose a battle trying to do these challenges, it does not cost you one of the attempts, so always try and do the highest battle possible before you hit the auto win. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is the Shadow Path. If you haven't already progressed through a bit more of that, this is the point where you're really going to be able to take advantage of some of those shadow characters and start to unlock more of the game. So this can also be used if you're not quite at that level 14 as well. Both Ugluk and Morher together will go right through this campaign here, all the way up to node 9, and they will 3-star the whole lot just with the 2 of them. So you don't need to get a whole bunch of shadow characters just to complete this first section of the shadow campaign. Now this will get tough quite quickly, so once you do finish that normal difficulty and you move on to the hard nodes, what you're going to find is that first node there, you'll be able to unlock the Urukai Woundbinder, who is now known as Dunher. But unless you've put a heap of resources into those first 2 Urukai, you will need some more assistance, and the easiest one to get is going to be Edrick, who was formerly known as the Dunlending Marauder. Yes, everybody gets a name now, not just a generic title. And he can be found back in that first guild chapter. So once you've unlocked Pippin, this is going to be the next guy to unlock. He only unlocks at 1 star, so very easy to unlock. He has been improved a little bit, but still not the greatest character. You only want to put green gear on him. Don't spend a lot of resources because he will get swapped out once you get enough shadow characters to fill that team. Once he is unlocked, we want to finish off this first shadow chapter if you haven't done that already. The 3 of the characters that you have may be strong enough to beat that first node so that you can unlock Dunher. Then for the 5th character that we're going to unlock is going to be the start of our Goblin team. So once you have finished this first chapter of the guild campaign, don't start farming the troll at the end of the first chapter, because he will be available for more shards in the 2nd chapter. Now once you get here, it might take a little bit to 3 stars, so just keep grinding that same node until you get the 3 stars or you unlock the Goblin. He's now known as Grimper, but he's still the goblin that taunts. So he is going to be very effective in that team just to help protect the damage dealers a little bit. Once you have him unlocked, progress towards the next troll. He takes 180 shards to unlock, so he will unlock at 4 stars. So very, very good character to be able to unlock at 4 stars. But if your squad isn't quite strong enough to get there, you can go back to the goblin and keep farming him up to 2, maybe 3 stars, depending on how long it takes you to 3-star that 3rd node there. From this point, you're going to be able to start unlocking different characters you can add to your teams. The only thing that I'm going to advise you is that you don't put too many resources into every single character that you unlock. Make sure that they're going to fit in with the team that you want to build, and then make sure that you're only focusing on putting the blue gear on those characters. As I have a look at some of the changes that have been made to the various teams, I will bring out some smaller guides on individual teams so that you can see the setups, and then you can make a decision on whether you want to go and build those teams or not. But from here, it shouldn't take you that much longer to build up your team and get to level 18. Once you get there, you are going to unlock your supplies, and that's where you're going to be able to get all kinds of things from the various stores inside. Now, the Troll Brute is the only one in this first store that isn't farmable elsewhere, so he could be a good one if you don't mind spending some of your crystals to try and unlock him. The arena store won't unlock until you unlock the arena. The challenge store is the one where you're going to get Halberad. Now, they do give you 10,000 tokens to start off with. Do not spend these on anything else other than Halberad. Every time this refreshes, you might get different characters in there. I think Bolg is also available from here. Another very good character, but I would unlock Halberad first because he is a very, very good character to have for the light side. And if you have seen my videos before, you know that I have spoken about this guy so many times. Please listen to me and just get this guy. For the guild store, you have 2 more characters in here that you can unlock as you please. You can also get some gear and ability materials through this store as well. Very handy place to pick some of those things up from. But at the start, you do get quite a lot of these tokens coming through. So if you want to unlock these characters, there's no harm in doing so. There is a data mine that shows that you need Haradrim to eventually unlock the Witch King. So Wubet might be someone that you want to unlock. You don't necessarily have to level him up just yet. I'm sure you'll get plenty of warning if that is the case. But having him unlocked makes things a little bit faster if they do announce something like the Witch King. From this point, keep pushing through until you get to level 20 to unlock the arena. Now, once you get the arena unlocked, the first thing it's going to instruct you to do is set your defense. So this will be the team that everyone else has to fight. So you want to make sure that you're constantly updating this to make sure it is your strongest team that you have in there. At first, you will have a fairly mishmash team because you do have quite a lot of random characters that you've unlocked at the start. Just put in what you think is the strongest team that you have that's going to hold up against other people's attacks, and then you're going to move on to your first battle. Because the game has only just started up again, I am ranked pretty high here, but you won't come in at this level. You'll probably come in at the bronze level. When you are picking your opponent, the one thing that you will need to do is pick the opponent furthest to the right. That's going to give you the biggest jump, and you will go up levels pretty quickly from the start. If you do your 5 battles on the first day, you could even get up to silver pretty quickly, which is a much better reward. The one thing I don't want you guys to do is get frustrated about where you sit in the arena at the beginning. This game is going to take a long time to start unlocking characters, building up your teams, adding gear, making them stronger, getting to a higher level. Yes, there will be players that spend a lot of money to get to the top of the arena. However, there is a level cap, there is a gear cap. They might get there quicker, but it doesn't mean that you can't catch up and compete with them. that's where this guide finishes, guys, but I will be bringing you more guides on some of the changes that have been made. I'll do some breakdowns on some of the teams as I unlock them and get to have a better look at the combinations. But there is a heap more content coming your way, so don't forget, like and sub, you know the deal, and I'll catch you in the next one.